What is going on? I want to hop on here and make a quick video. Happy July 4th, everybody. This might be the worst time to make a video. I'm trying to get it done before the fireworks show. And my dog may go crazy if we start hearing fireworks. But I want to hop right into this. Just a brief projection over AMC earnings. I was starting to look into it today, and I don't own any stock. I got rid of all my stock around $18, and I'm considering getting back into it. So I'm starting to look at some of the earnings on it, and it looks like this quarter was actually bigger than Q4 of 2021. So I wanted to kind of just go over briefly what these numbers are going to look like. And when I was going over it, I actually kind of did some simple math. Here you can look at this. Actually, let's do this. So you can look at these numbers right here. This was kind of just my simple math. So Q4 2021, they did gross, not AMC, but box office was 2.06 billion. AMC was 1.15 billion, which was about a 53% of relative box office sales. And the EBITDA was 159.2 million positive. Q1 2022 is 1.3 billion box office. And then their gross revenue was 785 million, which was 60% gross box office. The EBITDA then was negative 61.7 million. So the Q2 2022 projection was 2.3 billion gross for box office. So I would say that their gross revenue would be somewhere in the 1.26 billion range. Now, what we can look at is actually this Q1 from 2019. Is pretty close to the Q2 number. So if we look here at 2022, the Q2 cumulative gross on box office, 2.3 billion. And then we look here at 2019, Q1, 2.4 billion. And we go into their earnings reports. So this is their 2019 earnings report. And if you look here, I found it kind of interesting that they knew early on in 2019 that there was a full year of extraordinary slate of movies coming. So their Q1 performance in 2019, they actually had stated, hey, you know, the rest of this year is going to be much, much better. So just bear with us. So if we look at that earnings release, they had stated that it was a back-end loaded year and that 2018 was the second highest grossing first quarter of all time. So what I think is also interesting is that movies in 2018, that was the biggest box office of all time, 2018. So this theory that movies are dead 4 years later doesn't really make sense to me. You know, it took a global pandemic to stop a movie theater from growth. So, I mean, if you look at it, you know, you could say, you know, the conspiracy, global pandemic, stop movie theater growth. Just kidding. But the other thing I want to get into is the $5.23 per patron in 2018. And I feel like Adam Aaron said on the last earnings call, this is the 2021 fourth quarter earnings call, I read through this and I could not find where he said the spend per patron was. Leave a comment if you know it. But I think it was like $12. So I could be mistaken, but I thought he said it was roughly $12 or so in Q1. That's when it was. So I looked through the Q1 2022 results, and I thought he had stated that per patron was around $12, but it doesn't say it anywhere in here. I did find this. The Hycroft Mining, they misspelled the ticker, NYMC. Hycroft Mining's ticker symbol is actually HYMC. But I did find that. And or I didn't find that, but I think it was around $12 per patron. So the Q2 gross, 2.3 billion. And what was the next thing that I wanted to talk about? Oh, the rest of the movies for this year. So we do have Thor coming out that should carry us a few months. And then the movie Nope, I think, is pretty popular. Nope right here. Nothing too big in July and August that I'm aware of. And then we have Avatar towards the end of the year. I'm not sure if Flash or any of the DC movies will be coming out at that time. So what we wanted to go into and look at was this 2019 first quarter, because that's the number that represents the second quarter of 2022. And if you look at these numbers, I think these are going to be some of the numbers that are pretty similar to what we'll see. The Q4 of 2021 was a positive quarter, and we did actually about what did we do? Let's look at this. So 2.3 billion for Q2, and if we go to 2021 Q4, so yeah, we did about 300 million more in box office sales. So that's pretty huge. 300 million. I say we. So I don't own any stock. I do have the option. I have 10 call contracts to buy 1,000 shares if it gets above 29 in September or so. So I think that was roughly about $900 is the only position that I have in AMC. So this isn't financial advice. This is just a projection of my opinion of what their earnings could be. So yeah, if we look, Q4, you can see that the net loss for the fourth quarter improved to 134.4 million, including a non-cash impairment charge. So you can read through this, but the most important thing is that the adjusted EBITDA was 159.2 million. So they actually had a positive EBITDA. And what is EBITDA? It is the earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and assets. So it's basically kind of like a gross number. It's a number that people use to look at a company's earnings. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty bullish in my eyes. The quarter two. I know Adam Aarons said that they weren't going to make any announcements until after quarter two. So I just think that they know they were going to have a big quarter two, potentially a big quarter three with Minions. That's the other thing I want to talk about. It's kind of crazy that nobody really saw this Minions. I don't want to call it a movement, but it kind of is. And when you get young people involved in things, they tend to have a little bit of legs. So this whole social media, I don't know if you've seen it, but I think teenagers are going to see Minions. I went to the movies actually yesterday, and it was loaded with kids dressed like they were going to a school dance. So I guess it's kind of this social media movement that could carry Minions into probably being one of the biggest movies of quarter three, if not the biggest movie. I think the only runner against it would be Thor. So both of those movies could potentially be billion-dollar movies. I actually think Minions has done more than Top Gun in its opening weekend with 225 million. We can actually look at that here. Let's go to this. Yeah, so if you look here, the Minions, 72, 63, 52, 38, which would be 60, 90, 153, 225-ish. So 225-ish for the Minions. And then if we scroll down, we could probably find Top Gun here somewhere. Sorry, getting away from myself here. 68, 55, so we're at 73, 123, 174. Yeah, so what is that, like 212-ish? Could be wrong. Quick math. But yeah, so I think Minions is actually outrunning, so it could have some legs with this whole dress-up thing. But we'll see what happens, and I am going to consider grabbing either some more AMC calls or potentially some shares. But just wanted to do this quick video. I was in AMC for about a year and a half. I decided to get out when I just realized that the chart didn't look good to me. I stopped listening to all the hype, and I'm for the movement. I'm all about the movement. I'm all in on GME, but I do think that I'll probably try to play some AMC as well. So have a good 4th of July.